This what I tell 'em. Look, I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. Hot or cold, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles. Go take care of your business. Success Chronicles. It's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with another topic session. And today we are here with my guy, Mr. Tim Gaynor. Uh, Great guy doing some neat things and coaching and helping people and develop. And this is our second session. Our first session that we did was, what is your lid? And we discussed limiting beliefs and your mindset and some of those things. And we had a really good session. And so we wanted to take it a step further and just go into, we hit the beliefs, we hit the mindset, we hit the thoughts. Okay, now, Chip, Tim, what's the next step? Where do we go from here? So, Tim, if you want to kind of just start and kind of elaborate a little bit, kind of reflect on what we did and where we're going.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, Chip, and I love this idea of kind of taking our topic a little bit deeper. For folks, we talked about kind of beliefs and we to build on what we hit and is okay. Now, how do we move into growth, personal, professional growth? And kind of my perspective is it's the same. People I've run across people that are talking about, I just want to focus on my work and, how do I grow and develop there? And I always say, well, it's the same as your personal growth. I mean,
Yeah.
you are where you are. You can't take you out of work. You can't take you out of your family. You can't take you out of anything. So, kind of building on that platform we had last week on, how do we take this development idea a little bit farther with this growth, and how does that work? And that's what we're going to today. We're going to talk about personal and professional growth, and some keys to doing that, and then even a mindset perspective, and then some.
Yeah.
What are some roadblocks that get in our way as humans that prevent us from moving forward? And really that ties into I know what you're going to hit on is that mindset. There's roadblocks we maybe have in our mind that kind of gets in our way, and then what type of habits do we want to build into moving forward to I always like that. It's like your morning routine. You don't think about your morning routine, man. Your alarm goes off. You do the same thing every single day and in the same order. And that's just the same thing with growth, making it a habit so you don't even think about it. You just move forward. So I'm excited about our discussion today.
Yes, sir. And then, for me, reps make you better.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Experience gives you experience.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
And the more you do things, just like you said, you don't think about it, but the more we can be conscientious about the order of things, our operating system, if you will.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah.
The more we can be conscientious about that, then I think the better we can. I'm going into my part. Let me just slow down here.
You're getting too excited, man. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, if you don't mind, share with us, the part that you have about mindset. There's some key points that you have that you would love to share, personal, professional. If you don't mind sharing that with the audience.
Yeah, I think two of my keys, as far as a mindset on your personal professional growth, the first one is valuing yourself. You really have to value yourself to want to invest in yourself. We touched on this a little bit last week too, of, we invest in a lot of things. We invest in the stock market, we invest in real estate, we invest in cars and what have you. However, we tend to forget investing in ourself, and ourself really is the highest commodity that we should be investing in, and that will make everything else better as well. So you really have to value yourself and know your self-worth, because when let's say you invest in the stock market, there's value there, and that's why you invest in it. You put money in it to get something back. You put money into it to get more back. And the same thing with yourself.
Yeah.
To value yourself, you need to build up, grow yourself, put something in to get something back to make yourself better. And it's this simple analogy of when you fly, they tell you, hey, before you help someone, if the oxygen mask fall down, put yours on first before you help someone else. Now, reality is you could not listen to that and you can start helping someone else. But after a certain amount of time, if you need that oxygen, you're going to have to stop helping them
Yeah.
and turn around and take care of yourself. And that's the same thing with your personal professional growth. You can just focus on everything out there in the world. You can do that. At some point, though, that's going to break down. It's not going to work.
Mhm.
You're not going to be able to go any farther than a certain level and nowhere near your potential. And you're going to have to actually stop and turn around and take care of yourself before you're able to move on. So you might as well just stop now. Invest in yourself, invest in your personal professional growth, value yourself enough to build yourself up so you can truly turn back around and take everything else out in your world to a higher level, to a higher potential that you have.
I love that. That's good stuff. And that the whole oxygen mask analogy is so true. And like every time I fly and I hear it, I hear him say that, it comes to mind for me,
Right,
you
right.
know. And it's so true, because if you don't do that, you'll find yourself spiraling in a
Hmm.
situation where you feel that you're drowning
Yeah,
in
yeah.
like
People,
bitterness and resentment.
yeah, absolutely. People get to, maybe not a full breakdown, but they're just like, things aren't going well. I'm
Yeah.
stuck. I'm not getting any traction in life. And why is that? And, a lot of times that I find when I'm talking to them, coaching to or doing some workshops, it's really is like, how much time are you working on yourself? Well, I'm
Mhm.
not. Well, maybe that's it. Maybe
Yeah.
you need to work on yourself so everything else in your world starts clicking and starts working, and you find some traction in those other areas, other lanes of life as well.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Yeah. So the second thing, so there's two keys to personal and professional growth. First one, again, we just talked about valuing yourself. The second one is really you got to know yourself. You
Mm.
really got to know who you are. And one of my favorite movies of all time is The Breakfast Club. Man, I love that movie. Maybe because I was closer to high school at that time than when it came out, but that's not important. So in the movie, for those that haven't seen it, it's a group of kids that got detention. They had to go to detention on Saturday detention, because they got in trouble during the week at school. And they had one of the assistant principals watching over them. And he gave them an assignment for the day. He says, what you need to do, you need to write an essay on who you are. He says, that's what you need to do during the day at your time here. You write an essay on who you are. And it's funny. And I think that really taps into something we all need to know, who we are. Funny part in the movie, they have a jock, and they have a princess, and they have kind of a weirdo, and then they have the brain. So they're all different segments of it. We all lived in high school, and the brain's funny. He's in there. He's like, who am I? Who am I? I'm a walrus. So it's kind of funny. He's you're sitting there thinking about who you are.
Yeah.
And how you know that is, what are your strengths? You're built with them. You're given them. You're certain things you're strong at. You're certain things you're good at. And I would imagine those things that come easy to you, you enjoy doing. And then what are your weaknesses? And then what are your dreams and interests? And I know we touched on this last week. You and I know this, you and I believe this, that we're all built differently. We all are given certain gifts
Mhm.
that are different. Mine are different than yours are different than me. And that's for a reason. And that's so we can, hone in on what those are and live those things based on our strengths and our dreams and our interests. Like, what are you passionate about? What moves you? When you see something, you read something, or something in your world happens, and you get very passionate about, what is that? And
Yeah.
that might help you with your strength and what your interests and dreams are. And part of this is like traveling. Man, I love to travel. My wife and I, we've done a lot of travel. We enjoy it. We just don't jump in a car or show up at the airport and go, where are we going?
Yeah.
We have a
Right.
plan. We have a plan on what we're doing and where we're going. And it's based on what we like. I'm not really a beach person. I live out here in Colorado. Today it's snowy Denver. We got some snow last night, but I'm a
Mhm.
mountain person, man. Like, hey, you want to go to a beach? Well, not really. But would you like to go to the mountains in northern Italy? Yeah, I'm in. Let's go. Because we base our trip on who we are, what we like, and what our interests are. And that's the same thing with, trying to figure out who you are. What are you about? And build on that as well. What are those desires that pull on your heartstrings in life? Focus on that lane, and usually that ties into your strengths and your dreams and interests.
Good stuff. You on both of your key points, it was yourself.
Hmm.
Value yourself.
Yep,
Know yourself.
absolutely.
And I think it's important that we look within to win. We
Yep,
have
that's
to
good.
really, really focus lots of energy on being the best version of ourselves.
Hmm.
And when we do that, everything else falls in line.
Yeah, I love that. I love that saying, Chip. Work on being the best version of ourselves. And I
Yeah.
think, Chip, if you sat and thought about it, you can picture what that looks like for you. I mean, you
Yeah.
can picture going, the best version of me would
Yeah.
look like this,
Hmm.
and then that's that goal in front of you. Put it out there. What's that best version look like, and start building towards it.
Yeah, I like that. How you said too, because it reminds me of the visualization.
Hmm.
Great athletes.
Yeah.
We've been in we've taken that shot in our head.
Hmm.
Lots of times. We've practiced that. As a kid. Out
Yeah.
on the driveway.
Yeah.
For we've done. So
Yeah.
when it gets time to when you really have to make that shot to win the game for
Hmm.
everyone. I've already done it 100
Yep.
times in my
Yep.
head for years.
Hmm. Absolutely.
So like, come on, give me the rock.
Yeah, that's right. I love that visualization that you just said there too. I used to coach baseball, and I played it and I coached it. And I always told our team, if you're going to make a decision once the ball's hit to you, it's too late. You
Right.
can't get the ball hit to you and go, now what do I do? It's
Yes.
too late. You have to, before the ball is pitched, you have to go, if that ball comes to me, I'm going to go this. You have to know, and you're visualizing that in your head going, if it comes to me, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, I played third base. I'm going to touch third, throw to first. So when it comes, my
Mhm.
brain already is moving in that direction because I've set that out in front of me. It's already moving that way, and that's just moving my body, and I'm already doing those things versus thinking about it. Hey, the ball's hit to me. Now what do I do? It's too late. You
Yeah,
have you
it's
have
a
to
wrap.
visualize it. Yeah, like you said, you're playing it over and over in your head. And it really ties to kind of how our brain works. And it's like, oh, okay, I got it, and then it starts moving us in that direction because that's what we set out in front of us.
Mm. Any other points that you have on the personal, professional, value yourself and know yourself? Any other
Yeah,
points you want to share?
I think those are, to me, there are a lot of key points in personal and professional growth, but to me, those
Mhm.
are the two biggest ones, value yourself and know yourself. And I think that to me, the number one is if you don't value yourself, you're not going to do anything. It's just like anything else. You really have to look at your self-worth, your self-value, and figure out where that's coming from. A
Yeah.
lot of times we place that in wrong, we place our self-worth and our self-value in wrong things. And it really should come from not out in the world, not our social media, not our number of likes, not our number of connections. It really should be based on who, kind of our true self, and our true self-worth is based on what we know about ourselves and what we're given in our gifts and our strengths, and our passions to move forward.
Mm. Yes, yes. Well, I want to hit on, a little bit of growth mindset versus fixed mindset.
Mm,
A lot of times if we're, fixed on the things that are not good,
yeah,
that's not good.
no, that's right.
And we have to, I think, you know, strive for growth, look for growth,
Hmm.
take the actions to have growth.
Yeah.
And so, there's some areas that I think are personal, well, some areas that are important that we focus on
Hmm.
when striving to grow. There's I don't know, I always look at the pie chart, you just, all of the areas you want growth in all of those areas. And for me, I think that's, spiritual, mental, and
Hmm.
physical,
Hmm.
with those key points, personal development, career development. And the big one is relationships,
Hmm.
and I think
Yeah.
if we can, um, strive for growth each day in
Right.
all of those areas, then I think it allows us to be balanced or feel whole and complete, if you
Hmm.
will.
Yeah, I love that you're dead on keyword, and I think what you just said there is balance.
Hmm.
And you're looking at that pie chart, and you listed out all those different areas of our life. And you're right. To me, if one is out of balance, the rest are out of balance,
Yeah.
and trying to keep all of those in order to make them balanced, so everything else falls in line. So I mean, that's a perfect word. It's a simple word, but it's perfect for that scenario. What you're talking about of balancing all of those things out in your life. And that's where, we talked about investing in all these other things. We're forgetting us. That pie is getting no attention. We're not getting any
Yeah.
development or growth. And that's why things get out of whack, and just, making sure that we're spending time in each one of those different lanes of our life. That's awesome.
Yeah. And you said this a couple times, yourself.
Hmm.
You also said, what you put in is what you get out.
Yeah.
And to
Yeah.
me, I think it starts with you. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like you have to
Yeah.
look at yourself. And I think like anything, if we start first there, then, we hold ourselves accountable for all of our actions,
Hmm.
good or bad,
Yeah.
hey, man, that was pretty good. Be proud of that. But then, ooh, I messed that up. Like, don't do that again.
Right,
you
right.
know,
Yeah,
you know, those kind of things. And so I
yeah.
think it allows you to really don't blame others.
Hmm.
I chose to do this, and
Hmm.
so I have to make the decisions to, you know, and or hold myself accountable, and
Right.
adjust from there.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely take some ownership in, how things are going.
Yeah.
That accountability, ownership in, I love that too, what you said there. And I always preach this too, the right order. Here's what went well. Here's what
Yes.
went well. And then, here are the opportunities that I have to get better next time. And it's always moving forward, always trying to get better. But I love the first thing is because there's not many things we do in this world where we mess up 100% of everything. There's not many of those things. There's at least one or two things that went well. Focus on those first. Here's what went
Yes.
well, and then what opportunities do I have to get better at it next time I'm doing it?
I love that.
And I love that order that you put in there. It's good.
Yes, yes. So, for me, I got to hit you with a formula, input equals output.
There you go.
What you put into something is what you're going to get out of it.
Yep.
So, we have to make sure we understand that. And I have a growth cycle that I
Hmm.
try to focus on and really just live, personally. It's a personal practice that I do.
Hmm.
And I
Yeah.
think the first is, and there's 4 steps. I think the first is we have to stretch ourselves.
Mm.
We have to put ourselves in uncomfortable situations, and don't be afraid to do that.
Right. Right.
Like you said, you know, when we do that, it allows us to go through that process of figuring out, okay, this went well.
Hmm.
You know, okay,
Yeah.
this didn't go well. So how can I grow from that? So really,
Yeah.
there's no winning and losing. It's winning and learning.
Hmm. Absolutely.
And you continue to learn and you continue to get better because, like we said earlier, reps make you
Hmm.
better.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's perfect that rep scenario, in my mind when you say that, you could probably look at me, you can tell I'm probably big. I work out a lot because I'm pretty big and huge and I'm pretty
So,
ripped. Yeah,
smoke,
some swole. Yeah,
yo,
exactly.
dog.
Yes, which I'm not, but okay. But it's that idea of you're talking about those reps, and then you use the word stretch a minute ago. That's the same thing with when we're working out, we're doing weights.
Yeah.
You're wanting to stretch the muscle, and that hurts. Like you said, step out and take that
Mhm.
challenge, and get a little uncomfortable. And when you're starting to, you put on new weight, you're doing some extra reps. That hurts. That stretches. That's stretching you a little bit. But at the end of the day, the next week it makes it easier because you've stretched yourself, you've grown, you've developed, and you've pushed yourself a little bit farther. So it's easier to do 3 reps of 5 instead of 2 reps of 5. It's much
Mhm.
easier to do that because you stretch yourself. But if you just stay doing the same thing over and over again, you're not going to be able to grow and not going to be able to put on more weight. And obviously in what we're talking about, the development piece, you're going to plateau and not move any farther. So
That's it. And it starts with putting yourself in uncomfortable situations.
absolutely. Yeah.
And I think the more you allow yourself to do that, the more you get comfortable with it. For example, as a younger guy, maybe some things that, we may have been afraid to challenges we may have been afraid to face.
Hmm.
And I think of, being a teacher and coach, I think of younger guys with their mindset or, looking at, holy crap, there's a plate on the bar.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
I
Yeah.
can't do that. Like, no, get in there.
Right.
I got you. I'm gonna spot you. Let's go.
Right. Right.
And you get to play, you like, let's go.
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you're looking at 2 plates. You're like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's 2 plates. No, let's
Right.
go. Let's try. You worked. You
Yeah.
put in the work every day to
Hmm.
get there. You're repping, 10 pounds under that, bro. You can max that
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
And so just those things, we have to put ourselves in uncomfortable situations, and then it allows us to, experience those things and see, oh,
Mhm.
I am capable.
Yeah, yeah, and hitting right on that mindset perspective of what you're talking about is, a lot of times if we tell ourselves we can't do it, then we're not going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
If we have that mentality of like, I'm going to do this, it may not be out of the gate, which is fine. Again, professional athletes don't show up on game day and just knock it out of the park. They prepare for it, and that's the same thing here. Your mindset of what you're saying there is, I'm going to get this, and you will do it. If you put your mind to it, you will do it. If opposite is effect and I'm not going to be able to do this, I found more times than not, you're not going to be able to do it. It's that mindset that you're talking about that sets the path of the direction you're going in.
Yeah, there's a Marine Corps deal, and I don't want to completely quote it, but I've heard it.
Mm,
You sink to the level of your training.
mm, yeah, yeah,
And so if you've prepared well, then that gives you a confidence because you put the work in.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's okay to, stretch yourself and put yourself in a situation because you feel confident, like, hey,
Mhm.
man, I've been in the gym every day, so, it's different than the guy that hadn't been there at all. Well, yeah, he probably don't even think that.
Yeah, no,
Like,
yeah.
I've been in there every day, so yeah, I'm gonna try it,
Hmm.
you know? And
That's
then
good.
the next step, and you said this just a second ago
Mm.
for me, and it's push yourself.
Yeah, there you go.
I think it's important to, strive to be 1% better each day.
Mm.
You don't have to, go from 0 to 100.
Hmm.
I think that the little effort, the little consistent effort that we put in can pay off big.
Right.
And to me, I'm sure you heard me say effort counts.
Hmm.
Like and just effort shows a lot. Like
Yeah.
effort shows that you care.
Hmm.
Effort shows that you want to be better, that you want to grow. Uh,
Hmm.
Effort shows that it means something to you. And so just giving a little bit, man, I think it pays off big when you can push yourself and do that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not putting any effort, you're not taking a step. You have to take a step to
Mm,
put in effort, and
yeah,
that's moving forward. The first step is putting effort in, and then the second step is more effort and pushing forward. So, um, if you're like, well, I'm not going anywhere, have you taken a step? Have you put some effort in? Have you moved anywhere from? Are you still on start?
yeah.
Get off start. Let's move. Let's go.
Yeah, what have you done?
Yeah, exactly,
Like,
exactly.
yeah, I'm gonna do this. Like, no, what have you done?
Yeah, that's absolutely such a. It's funny, like it's one of the common questions I always have when I'm talking with individuals. They're like, "Hey, here's what I'm trying to do. Here's what I want. Here's what I dream. Here's what I envision," which is good stuff. Like, great, great, great. All right, so what have you done? What have you done about it so far? Like get that blank look. Nothing. All right. Well, then it's just going to stay out there. It's going to
Yeah,
stay out there as a dream. It's going to stay out there as something you wish. You got to take step one. You got to put something into it. Start moving towards it.
that's it. Love it. And then the third one that I have, so stretch yourself,
Mm-hmm.
push yourself. And the third one is evaluate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of touched on that a little bit. I think it's important to look within so that
Mm-hmm.
we can continue to grow,
Right.
but
Right.
but not just grow, but grow efficiently.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between like growing and having growth, but then growing efficiently
Right.
allows you to not make errors, so you
Mm-hmm.
grow faster, if you
Yeah.
will.
There you go.
And so I think, that's, to me, that's the same thing as weeding out, or pruning,
Mm-hmm.
to allow for that new growth.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, it's I love that part. I'll be honest with you, man. That's something a little bit new to me. I really haven't thought too much about it. So I'm learning, man. I'm learning today. I love it. Thanks, Chip. I
Oh,
love that there's two different ways to do it. If I'm hearing you right, I could start moving forward, but I'm evaluating the process and I'm just all over the place. Or I
yes.
can take some time and evaluate the process and, like you said, prune that back a little bit and make that growth substantially more than if I'm just kind of struggling out there and just going all over the place. That's good. That's good stuff. I'm gonna
Yes.
have to use that, man.
Yeah, please do. Hey, like Chick-fil-A, my pleasure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as you were talking about that, it made me think about life.
Mhm.
I think in our life as we grow, if we, one, make good choices,
Mhm.
if we, two, surround ourselves with the right people,
Mhm.
if we, three, have the positive mindset and belief, and I think when we can do those things, it allows us to not just be all wild and crazy out there. It
Right.
allows us to have a focused, it allows us to have a
Mhm.
focused plan about
Mhm.
what we do. And I'm
Mhm.
I'm living testament of, when you do that, great things can happen.
Mhm.
And like in my life, I've strived to do that. And
Mhm.
so again, organically, it's allowed me to eliminate those distractions.
Mhm.
It's allowed me to not be in trouble. It's
Mhm.
allowed me to always have great people around me
Mhm.
because people know that, hey, I ain't for no BS, man.
Right. Right.
And so it's allowed me to have immense
Mhm.
focus. It's allowed me to be able to say no to some things,
Mhm.
which in turn that allows me to say yes to things that are important to me.
Absolutely.
And so um, it's just a great process. So when we stretch ourselves,
Mhm.
when we push ourselves, and then more importantly, when we evaluate ourselves, look at our actions and how we move, how we
Mhm.
do what we do, and then the last step is repeat.
Mhm.
you know,
Rinse and repeat. Let's
yeah,
go. Do it again.
and it's a cycle, and because within that, within your separate pieces of growth, okay, then you go to the next cycle. Okay,
Mhm.
now that allows you to take steps. Just like in school, there's grades,
Mhm.
and you have to level up each grade.
Mhm.
And what I learned in math in the third grade builds on what I need to know in math in junior high.
Right.
At
Absolutely.
each level, you
Yep.
know, I have to level up. And so
Mhm.
the whole repeat thing is great because, and it's simple, okay, on this level, okay, I have to stretch myself now. I can't
Mhm.
do the same things I did then, those
Right.
two
Right.
plates from one plate,
Yep.
you know, that, one, thing of math, and now I'm combining, three or four in a
Mhm.
problem, in math. And so, those levels of growth, you have to make sure
Mhm.
you stretch yourself, push yourself, evaluate, and then repeat.
No, that's a great analogy. It's just kind of keep stretching the rubber band farther and farther each time out.
Yeah.
Making yourself grow deeper. I love that. That's a great analogy about math. You're doing the multiplication tables in third grade or fourth grade or whatever. I don't know what they do. And then in junior high, you're doing geometry and algebra and
Oh
stuff like
man.
that. But you can't do that unless you did the
Oh
earlier math. And
yeah.
same thing with our personal and growth. You got to start at the beginning because you can't do the things down the road unless you get good and you get solid with the things at the beginning. So being strategic about what you're doing in your process, it will get you to where you're trying to go. You can't just jump to the end. I want to lose 20 pounds. I can't jump to 20. I got to
No.
start at one. I got to start at one. Then I got to go to two. Then I got to
Yeah.
go three. I got to start at the beginning and work my way to where I need to go.
Tim, you can't cheat the process.
Mm-mm. Yeah, it's not gonna work.
No, I mean
Mm-mm.
like in anything we do, like there's baby steps, young grasshopper.
Yeah.
you know, we have to take those steps
Right.
to get to where we are. But then when we kind of just take a deep breath and slow down and realize that hey, there's
Hmm.
steps to everything, well then it allows you to be aware and really enjoy each step.
Mm. No, absolutely. Yeah, it just makes it makes it easier. I mean,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
just makes it easier. I mean, because if you imagine just starting out in math, jumping right into algebra when
No way.
you're in third grade, I mean, you don't do it. You're not going to get it. It's not going to work,
No
and
way.
then you're going to give up, and then you're not going to do it. So I love that. You can't cheat the process. Start where you're supposed to start. Start moving forward, and enjoy and recognize the steps you take. You know, those positive steps you take, and then turn back around and go, all right, here's the next step. Let's go.
Yeah.
Move forward. Let's get it
Let's
done.
get it. Let's get it, baby.
Yep.
Well, are there any other things you want to add on growth?
Yeah, I think just kind of finishing up with. I love your cycle there of the mindset cycle, and I've run across some things even in my own personal life of some roadblocks. What are some roadblocks that get in their way? So what you said makes sense.
Mhm.
You're like, okay, cool, but it's not that easy. It's not
Right.
that easy, and we struggle with it. To me, there are three big roadblocks that usually get in our way. First one is timing. We tell ourselves, we have our dream. Maybe we've laid out our plan. We know what we're going to do. We know what step one is. But then we say, it's not the right time. I'm going to do this maybe when I get older, when I get out of school, or when I go back to school, when I have more time, when I have more money. Maybe we're getting ready to start a new year. I'll wait till the beginning of the new year to start. I'll wait till the beginning of the new month to start. I'll wait till fill in the blank. We have 100 thousands of reasons why we don't start something because the timing is not right. But if we wait for that perfect timing, that perfect time is a mirage. It never comes because we'll find another excuse when we're getting closer to it. Going, now this has come up. I got to wait for this. I'll start this day. One day, we're going to look back and regret that we never started it because we're waiting for that perfect time. That does again, it's an illusion. It's not out there. There is no perfect time except now. Now is the time to start something. So to me, that's one of the biggest roadblocks that get in our way from this growth, this development mindset of moving forward.
Man, I love that. And if you don't mind, I like to elaborate on the
Yeah.
time deal too. I
Mm-hmm.
think the time is now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If
Yep.
in anything you do, like all the other stuff, that's excuses.
Yep.
Like the time is now. And so, one thing that I really try to do, like I really like force myself to do is like if I have a number of list of things, I strive to get as many of those things done as I can today,
Mm-hmm.
because tomorrow it's going to be lots of other things I need to get done as well. And if I don't finish
Mm-hmm.
these things, then it's going to roll over
Mm-hmm.
into that. And now that list gets longer.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they repeat that cycle, it gets longer and longer and longer.
Mm-hmm.
And, now I'm drowning, and that's
Yep.
unacceptable.
Yep. Yeah. You will make the time to do anything that you put priority to. You
Boom.
will make the time to do anything that you put prior to. So when you say it's not the right time and you start doing something else, in your mind, you put more priority on whatever that is than what's right in front of you that you say you want to do. Well, if you really wanted to do it, you would do it. That would be the priority.
Love it.
All right, here's the second roadblock. So first one is timing. We look for the right time and it's never there. The next one is inspiration. One of the roadblocks. We wait to feel inspired, to feel motivated, to start something or to continue something. And I think sometimes out of the gate, we're pretty excited about things. We get moving on it. And then we find out, oh man, this is, this is not exciting every single day. I love what I do. I love what I do. But I'll tell you what, there are some days that I'm like, man, I just don't want to do it. I'm waiting for that inspiration to feel inspired. We've all done or not done something based on how we feel, right? I don't feel like this, or I feel like this. If we wait to feel inspired, though, until we feel like it, we may never start something. We may never complete something. We may never grow. And I've kind of break it down into three things that we all can relate to, like eating right, working out,
Mm.
and just working in general. I don't always feel like working out. I don't always feel like eating right. And I love me some ice cream. I could eat ice cream every day. There's no doubt about it. I could be a champion ice cream eater, hands down.
Gold medalist.
That's right. I mean, I could
I
go.
would probably be silver.
Yeah. There you go. We'll be a doubles champion on eating ice cream, man. I love me some ice cream, and I feel like eating ice cream every day.
Yeah.
Now, our feelings are really a lot of times unreliable. We really need to move past the feeling and just do the things sometimes we don't necessarily want to do to achieve the things that we want to do. I want to eat ice cream every day. I don't necessarily want to work out every day. And there are some days, even though I love what I do, I don't want to work. But here's the deal. I want to be healthy. I want to live a long time. I want to respect the body that I have and take care of it. And I want to provide for myself, for my family, and I want to enjoy the things in life by working. So there are days that I don't feel like working out. I don't feel like eating right, and I don't feel like working. But I can't wait for the feel like doing something, to do something. I have to just do it to get the things out of it that I'm looking for. And I have this family quote that I still use, but my kids are older, but I'd use my kids when they're younger. It's the major difference between those who do it and those who don't do it are those that do it just do it. It's simple, and it's a little my ode to Dr. Seuss, I guess. It's
No,
really
I love it.
it's not complicated.
Not
At one
complicated at
time I was
all.
working at I had a corporate job. I was running a nonprofit, and I had my coaching development business. People are like, "Man, how do you find the time and do it?" I'm like, "I just
Just
do it.
do it. Yeah.
I had no answer for it. And I wasn't being smart. It's like I have no answer for that. I just do it. I don't know. I just schedule my time. I'm strategic. I'm intentional, and I do those things. So again, the two things, I got three things that roadblocks. First one was timing, and the second one is inspiration. We're waiting to feel inspired instead of just getting things done that we know we need to get done. And the last one is expectations.
Mm.
I think a lot of times we have unrealistic expectations about things, and our expectations are not based on reality. I think we expected school to be a little bit easier. We expected maybe dating and being married or being in a relationship that would be uncomplicated because hey, we're in love. Why is this so hard? We maybe had expected work or making money would be more straightforward than it is. And there's even times that expected achieving our goals or dreams wouldn't take so long.
Yeah.
And I think we hit this in our last conversation of, our expectation sometimes is based on someone else's highlight reel. We look on social media and we see their highlight reel, and then we expect, like, tomorrow I'm going to start living in that life. I'm going to start be able to do that. And then if our expectations aren't set right, then we're going to say, man, this is so hard. My life is hard. Uh, and that view, that label that we put on it, that label of hard, is a negative mentality sometimes. And when we look at it that way, we have a mentality of, typically, again, negative. And then if we had a normal process, like a relationship, relationships aren't easy. You got to
Yeah.
work on it. And if we go into a relationship knowing that, you know what, there's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days, but I'm always going to work on it and I'm going to get better, then that relationship's going to be easier because our expectation is set right. But if we think if it's going to be, one of those, 2-hour comedy romance movies that going, hey, this is what my life should be like. Why isn't it that way? And then we're going to go,
Good luck.
yeah, you said, or we're gonna bounce out or stop moving forward because our expectations are not set right. And I always say, I challenge myself and I challenge other people going, is the question, is this difficult? Is this hard? Or is it like life? Is life really hard? Is life really difficult? Or is it just life?
Yeah.
Is that just the way it is? If I have the mindset of, like, this is what it is, it's going to be easier to move through it. If I have the mindset of, like, oh, this is so hard, this is so difficult, it's going to be difficult to move forward. And I'm going to want to stop along the way because I have a negative mindset of versus just going, hey, this is what it is.
Yeah.
This is what it is. And if I want to move forward, I know that's the path I've got to take.
It's good stuff, man. I love it. I just hearing you talk about that, it made me think of, life is hard.
Mm.
Life is tough. Tough people do tough things.
Mm.
And you don't have to be hard all the time, but just make sure that you're hard when you need to be hard.
Yeah.
And I think that allows you to grow, that allows you to be aware of, the things that are going on around you, and you respond the correct way when you need to respond the right way.
Right. Yeah. And you say that knowing that, there are those times I have to be this way. There are times I
Yeah.
have to be this way. I'm going to have to deal with this. I'm going to have to work through this.
Yeah.
When you have that mindset of that expectation, you're, again, going back to visualizing, what am I going to do when the ball's hit to me? You're visualizing that ahead of time too. And you're going to have to handle it. And the steps that you need to take when it comes your way to take care of it.
You've set yourself up for success because you've prepared for it.
Yeah.
And and then the curveballs are gonna come, but if I scoot up, I'm about to knock that thing out.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I've watched a video. This guy has a mean curveball.
Yeah.
That joker ain't getting me.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. That's right. No, it's being prepared, expecting it, and knowing what to do. And I think just, to me, wrapping all this up in my head, just 3 key traits of being disciplined. And again, it goes back to doing the things you don't necessarily want to do the things that you want to do. Being intentional. Things aren't just going to fall in your lap. You need to be intentional about your actions, intentional about your thoughts. And then that mindset that you talked about is building that habit. Your cycle there of, ending with repeat, that's the habit. The habit is the repeat there. Do it again, do it again, do it again. And that's the part of the habit forming our steps and our actions every single day to growth, to personal and professional development and growth. Making it a habit, we don't even think about it. And then, down the road, we're going to be successful in what we want to do and what our life should be.
Yeah, habitudes. I think, just like you said, you said build habits. Habits come from building.
Yeah.
The habits it's not a one-time thing.
Nope.
Like you have to build habits. So, man, great stuff. Great stuff on growth. Just like you said, I learned lots today as well.
Yeah.
I think the viewers, the listeners will get some great tips from this. And again, I want to say thank you so much.
No, I appreciate it, and I love our conversations, and I'm with you. And I think the key is, you and I are growing. You and I are we're moving forward in what our conversation is, and hopefully that we can bring a little bit of value to someone else that listens to this, and they can grab a couple good things on here and move forward in their life as well.
That's it. We've stretched ourselves. We've pushed ourselves. We're evaluating. Yeah. Hey, and we're going to repeat now.
Let's do it.
All right, guys. Thank you for checking out this topic session, this growth session. hope that it's something that we can all take and use and apply in our life to help make us better. We'll see you next time. God bless.
All right.
Go get it.